In this video, I'm gonna be showing you how to catch snapping turtles with a milk jug, some line, and a hook. Super simple, super easy, and it catches turtles. Take a look at this clip. This is a turtle I just caught not very long ago at all, using this same exact strategy. But first, let's go ahead and sit down and let's build out our jug. It's super simple, but it catches them. All right, buddy. Now let's sit down here at the table and let's get you rigged up. What you're gonna need is a jug, milk jug, giant water bottle. Look at this one I got. Stinking giant water bottle. Anyways, the thing this is for is that it contains air, it floats. And whenever you pull it down, it continues to float. That's what you need. Milk jugs are super common. Milk jugs are strong. They hold a lot of air, so they float really good. Next, you're gonna need some kind of heavy fishing line. This is what we call bank line. This is like 200-pound test or something. It's pretty much rope. Unlike when you're fishing, it doesn't need to be clear because this is probably going to catch a catfish or a snapping turtle, which don't care about if they can see the line or not. So if you have some really thick braid, say 80 pounds or more, that'll work. Because you also got to think about how sharp the mouths are. They can cut really easy, so you don't want thin braid. Or you can buy in the little spools at Walmart for like $3. That's fine too. But if you want to, I would buy this. This is called bank line. It's the rope they have. I would use that. That's going to be your best option. Then after that, you're going to need some kind of J-hook. You do not want a circle hook because circle hooks do not gut fish. And with a turtle, your objective is to actually gut hook them. So you want some kind of J-hook. And now on top of that, you actually want a J-hook that has an eyelet that's pretty big. Now you may have to look for them a little bit. They're not as common. But that's important because you're going to have a big eyelet because typically this line is bigger. If you're using something like braid or the 30-pound mono, you can pretty much use a normal hook. But if you're using bank line, you can use this stuff right here. From here, go ahead and tie on your hook. I use an improved clinch knot. It works good for this kind of line and it works good for me. So go ahead and tie that on and boom. Now we have that right there. A really good tied on hook. From here, you're going to want to pull out about 2 feet of this line for the way I do it. Cut it and then tie it off to the jug. Now, I'm going to warn you, I only have about 1 foot of it right here because I just don't have my spool with me, but go ahead and put about 2 feet of line. And what's really cool is there's no sinkers needed. And what's really cool about the way we're doing this and the bait we're using is that getting your line and getting your bait and your hook deep doesn't matter. That's another reason why it's so simple, so easy, because you don't need a sinker to run this rig. Nothing more than a float, a line, and a hook, and your bait, of course, which we'll talk about right now. But here you can see it's a jug. It's tied on good. You got the line, heavy duty, and then it's tied onto a hook. I've only got about 1 foot here. I would prefer 2 feet. Does it really matter that much? Probably, in my experience, probably not. But 1 foot, hey, this would work all day long. And as we're doing this, I want to say this works awesome for catfish too. So it's kind of like a both rig. If you build one for one, you can use them for turtles and catfish. The bait though, if I was running this for catfish, I may use something like chicken liver or may use something like a live shad or a live bluegill or even like, I don't know, cut bait, some kind of catfish bait. But whenever I'm running this specifically for turtles, I do make a bait change. It's pretty important in my eyes. And I go to, hold up. Oh, this is nasty. Can be. I go to salted pork, and they also call it fatback. Now, this is important because let me show you. I'm pretty sure this is like some kind of meat on a pig, and I'll show you why it's so good right here in a second. Let me cut off a sliver. Yeah, and it's kind of tough to cut through. That's one of the reasons it's so good. But what's important about this bait, and I'll tell you why it's different than chicken liver, chicken breast, anything else you can find, is that it is so stinking fatty. It's some part of a pig. Pork jowl, maybe it's jaw. That works too. But what's important about it is, one, it's super fatty. So it's super greasy. It smells, and that's one of the main ways that turtles actually find their food. Second is this layer right on top. This is the skin of the pig, and it is super duper tough. That means that whenever you do take your hook, you're going to pierce that thing through the skin, hook it through the skin. This part's important. By golly, you may have to steer and crank on it. If you come from the bottom, it makes it a little bit easier, but not by much. Daggone, son, daggone it. I'm telling you, dude, it's in there good. But how thick this stinking, how hard it is to get the hook through it is also one of the reasons it's so good. Sometimes I'll even take my knife and give it a little help by making a little slit. Because daggone, man. That stuff, ow! Be careful. Come on, get through there, get through there, get through there. Come on. I'm about to tell you why this is so good. There we go. Finally, we got it on there. This is so good because if you throw this out for turtles, one of the first things that's probably going to find it is going to be a bluegill. And having some super thick skin on here will actually make it to where the bluegill can't completely get it off the hook. And it'll give something for the turtles to find. And that right there is honestly the rig I go to. You got a jug, you got some string, a hook, and a bait. Boom. You're pretty well ready to go. From here, here's what you do. You throw that thing out there in the middle and you don't even really have to worry about where you get it. If you have 3 jugs, maybe throw one on this side, that side, and one in the middle and just run it like that. But at the end of the day, if you get it out there like that, you're going to let the turtles find it. Especially if there's a lot of turtles, they ain't going to have a big problem finding free food. Now, a couple things to know about this. If there's a lot of catfish in the pond, you'll probably catch some catfish. And that's okay. It's still really fun. And here's another thing you need to know. When you roll up to your pond, if the jug is on the bank, meaning it is right up against the bank, the bank's here, the jug's here, right up on it, there's nothing on it. If the jug is swimming around the pond, you probably have a catfish. If the jug is close to the bank, but like a foot off the bank or 2 feet off the bank, you probably got a turtle. Because what a turtle's going to do, when it gets hooked and it realizes it can't get off the hook, here's what it's going to do. It swims as deep as it can and it finds the bottom. But if you only got a foot, 2 foot, it's only going to be able to get 2 foot down to the bottom. That's why it's so close. From there, once it gets up on the bank, it's just going to try to get down in the mud as much as it can, because that's where it feels secure. And that's why you'll see the jug sitting 2 foot off the bank, and the string will be going straight down. You just paddle up to it, walk up to it, take a hook, grab it, snag it, pull it up, boom, you got a snapping turtle. From there, if you want to know how to hold a snapping turtle, click right over here, because that's super important. If you hold it wrong, you'll be like this. Or if you're interested in doing something like this for catfish, click right over here for my top 5 catfishing baits.